Pinpoint Weather 12 forecast.
Well, the first indication that, of course, Lee is way out there, the waves starting to increase in the swells, and these will be exceptionally large tomorrow and Saturday. Big waves and dangerous surf. And then eventually indirect impacts headed our way late Friday night into Saturday morning. Keeping an eye on these weather buoys and these wave heights offshore starting to increase and only get higher, and those waves coming towards our coastline over the next couple of days. So no surprise, once again, and very common with an offshore hurricane, a large surf, dangerous rip currents, and swells offshore as the ocean starts to churn, even with the storm, 200-300 miles offshore. Threat tracker tonight, even through the daylight hours of Friday, it looks fine. As far as the wind, things start to ramp up later Friday night and especially early on Saturday morning. Now, we're not getting a direct hit from a landfalling hurricane. It stays offshore. But because the storm is so large in width, it does throw back some rain and some wind. If there's any good news, is that the rain isn't going to be overly heavy, but we'll get some gusty wind, and we're forecasting in our area anywhere in that 35 to 50 mile per hour range in gusts. Once you start getting up to like 45, 50, you start to compromise some trees, tree limbs, and power lines. So there may be some scattered outages, and the fact that we've had so much rain and there's so much loose, wet soil, sometimes it's easy to knock over a tree, even with a wind gust of 45 to 50 miles per hour. All right, in the meantime, high pressure is in control across the Great Lakes. Look at all this real estate of clear, dry, comfortable weather. The humidity has finally dropped. So here's southern New England. That is Lee. New information from the Hurricane Center. Category 1 storm. The winds are at 85 miles per hour. Here's a high-resolution satellite imagery. The width of the storm, even though the wind speeds have come down, the width of the storm has expanded. And that's why even with a track offshore, we still get some impacts, especially Cape Cod and the islands. Winds at 85, moving north now at 15, so the forward speed has increased. This is the position here, southern New England, pre-dawn Saturday, like 3 a.m., early Saturday morning, well off our coastline, and then racing up to the Canadian Maritimes. Keep in mind, this map does not represent weather impacts. It represents just where the center of the storm will be. So even way out here, it does throw back some rain and some wind. So as far as the radius of what we call tropical storm force winds, meaning at least up to 40 miles per hour, those chances, notice, are higher out towards the Cape and southeastern Mass. The hurricane force winds, which are actually right in here, actually stay offshore, and then the storm races away. As far as impacts in terms of rain and wind, they're highest in the areas in red, and that includes southeastern Mass, the Cape, and especially the islands. A little further to the west in our area, we're going to put us in the medium category, and then much further to the west, those impacts are lower. As far as potential wind gusts, and again, these peak winds are going to be realized later Friday night, early Saturday morning. Most of our viewing area, and that includes New Bedford, gusts on the order of 35 to 50. It's a completely different story out, of course, the outer Cape. There'll be a storm surge in Cape Cod Bay as well. And again, wind gusts of this magnitude have the potential to produce some scattered outages. Tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, it's really comfortable. Some sunshine in the morning, sunshine fades during the afternoon with increasing clouds. As far as the beaches next couple of days, stay out of the water. Windy but dry tomorrow, extreme rips, dangerous surf, and that will extend into Saturday as well. Quick look at the bay forecast. Friday, wind north 15 to 25, gust to 30 knots. 7-day forecast shows that rain and wind or showers late Friday night, Saturday morning. Wouldn't surprise me if it actually clears out very late in the day on Saturday. Saturday night looks fine, much better weather. On Sunday, sunshine and about 78. So hurricane, no, but tropical storm force winds, of which could knock down some trees and power lines, at least scattered. So we'll watch for that.
We do have some events being postponed and canceled this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, thanks. We have more coverage you can count on coming up on 12 News at 5. How cool is this? NASA astronauts are answering